All right, challengers, welcome. I know we've already finished chapters 1 through 10, but we've skipped a couple sections, so now we are going back to chapter 9. Chapter 9, we skipped the three sections of surface area of prisms, pyramids, and cylinders. So we are going to go back to that and make sure you guys understand that's really important. So what we're doing today, we're calculating the surface area of prisms. Notice every prism, every three-dimensional shape can be broken apart into the specific two-dimensional shapes that are making up the three-dimensional figure. We call this a net. So look at these three figures. You can count how many sides they have based on the number of shapes you see. So the one on the left there has 5 sides. The one in the middle that has 2, 4, 5, 7 sides, and then the one on the right that has 6 sides. So the three-dimensional figures, prisms, pyramids can have different side lengths. The areas could be different, but they're all going to be three-dimensional closed figures. So where do you use surface area in real life? Remember, surface area is the outside. So going back, surface area is finding the area of all those separate sides and adding them together. It's not the volume inside, it's how much space on the outside. So if you have, like, say, my phone, it would be this distance plus 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 the front distance. Where do you use surface area in real life? Probably the most you use it is with wrapping paper, right? When you're wrapping a gift, you need to cover the entire outside, right? It doesn't look good if you're missing a little piece. Or if you use way too much, it doesn't really look good. You want to use the exact perfect amount. That's going to be your surface area. You also use it, or you see Amazon boxes use it all the time because they have a box, and a lot of times, not always, but the box fits perfect, right? They calculate that box and how much material they need to make the cardboard boxes. That's the surface area because that's the outside of the figure. So let's look at a prism. You guys should already know what prism is because we've done volume already, but we have cubes, rectangular prisms, cylinders, triangular prisms, pentagonal prisms, hexagonal prisms. Remember, a prism is anything that has a bottom and a top that's the exact same shape. For example, this right here is a prism because it has a top square and it has a bottom square, and it has a rectangle on this side, has a rectangle on that side, right? It has a top and a bottom that's the exact same. Whereas pyramids go to a point. Notice they have that bottom that does not match with the top. A pyramid is always a bottom that goes to a point. Notice in the prisms, none of them go to a point. You guys should already know this. We're comparing the prisms and pyramids. Notice prisms always have a top and a bottom. It could be turned on the side, so it could be a left and a right, but it definitely has two sides that are opposite that match perfectly. A pyramid does not. It has a bottom and then it has a point, and you never put the pyramid on the side. It's always straight up. So if you ever see a point at the top, it's automatically a pyramid. But if you don't see a point, it's going to be a prism. So remember that. All right, so let's start off with an example, finding the surface area of the purple box. Now, in order to find the surface area, we need to find all the different sides. So the first thing to do is identify the number of sides. This is a rectangular prism. That means it has a bottom, a top, a left, a right, a front, and a back. So I know, first off, there are 6 sides. So now, to identify the 6 sides, I'm going to use different colors. So the first side that I'm gonna find is the bottom. I usually like to start with the bottom just because I like to work my way up. So I have this rectangle on the bottom, but I don't only have that rectangle on the bottom, that top one is the exact same, right? Hopefully you guys can see that this bottom and this top are the exact same. Since they are the exact same, we only need to find the area of one of them, and then we can double it. So first, notice this rectangle is 6 by 9. An area of a rectangle is length times width. So I'm going to do 6 times 9 equals 54. Now we said there's 2 of them, so we get 108. That's going to be the bottom and the top. So we're a third of the way there. All right, let's do the next one. So I'm going to take this part off. and then we are going to do it again. This time, I'm going to use green. So with green, I'm going to use this left side and this right side. Notice these two are opposites, right? Since these two are opposites, I know that they are the exact same. Look, they are both the same length and the same width. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to draw another rectangle, and notice 6 is on the bottom and 5 is on top. So 6 times 5 equals 30, but I need to double it, and I get 60. Now, the third side that I see, so let's erase this. The third side that I see is going to be this front, and I see the back, right? So if I were to shade it, you have this front and you have this back. It kind of overlaps, but that's okay. It's not the top, it's just the front and the back. So if I were to draw a rectangle here, I would have 9 on the bottom and 5 on the side. Well, 9 times 5 equals 45. If I were to double it, I would get 90, right? So now, in order to find surface area, I need to add all of them together. Add all 6 sides. We have 2 sides here, 2 sides here, 2 sides here. So that's a total of 6 sides. So I'm going to do 108 plus 60 plus 90, and that's going to equal, let's see, 150. So 258 meters squared. Notice here, guys, it's meters squared because of surface area. Since it's surface area, area is always squared. So next, each square meter is $3. That means 1 meter squared equals $3. But we have 258 meters squared. So that is how much money? We need to do 258 times 3. So 8 times 3 is 24, carry the 2. 5 times 3 is 15, carry the 2, or plus 2 is 17, carry the 1. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. That's going to cost us $774 just to cover the surface area of the whole entire box. Hopefully that makes sense, guys. We are just finding the surface area, finding all 6 sides and adding them together. But you don't need to find all 6 separate because a lot of them match. So let's go ahead and go to our next example. This is going to be the same sort of thing, except there's a triangle now. So this is not a rectangular prism. This is a triangular prism. It is a triangular prism because there's a triangle in the front and there's a triangle in the back. So I'm going to start off with this triangle in the front. And notice how it matches this triangle in the back, right? So if I have this triangle, notice there's 2 of them, right? There's 2 triangles, but I know that is 16 across and 6 up. So the formula for a triangle is 1/2 base times height. So I'm going to do 1/2 times 16 times 6, right? So therefore, half of 16 is 8. So 8 times 6 is 48. But we said we have 2 of them. So therefore, 48 times 2 is 96. All right, let's erase these colors. Let's go ahead and go to the next one, right? So therefore, now I'm going to do the bottom. So I have this bottom here, but do I have a top? No, I don't have a top. So I have this rectangle on the bottom, which is 16 by 9, but I only have one of them. There's not a matching top, which is okay. So therefore, 16 times 9, 6 times 9 is 54, carry the 5, 14. So we're just going to leave it at 144. And then finally, let me erase these. Finally, we have our 2 sides. I see a rectangle right here that almost looks like a square. And I see it really, you can barely see it, but you know it's there because you know the shape. You have that rectangle right there. So the 2 rectangles on the side, right? So if I draw the rectangle, it's going to be 9 by 10. Well, 9 times 10 is 90. Double that and you get 180. So in order to find the total surface area, you need to add these three together. And if you add these three together, you get 420 meters squared, right? So if we get 420 meters squared, and it asks us, you want to pitch a tent, but you have 400 square meters. Do you have enough? Nope, you don't have enough. If not, how much more do you need? You need 20 meters squared more, right? Because we are 20 meters squared short. Make sure you put meters squared because it's talking about area. It's not just talking about like just cloth. You need this much more area covered. All right, good job with that one, hopefully. Now we're on to the third one. This is a fish tank, obviously. But notice something special about this fish tank and a lot of fish tanks, not all fish tanks, but a lot of fish tanks. The aquarium is made of 4 glass panels around a bottom, but the top is open. So if we're finding the surface area, then that means we have this one side, two side, three sides, that back fourth side, the bottom fifth side. We do not have a top. So we are not finding that surface area at the top. We're not using that top area. So instead, we just need to find the 5 sides. So first, I'm going to find this left side and this right side. So if I do the rectangle here, then that's 2.5 on the bottom and that's 4 on the top, right? And notice we have 2 of them. So 4 times 2.5, well, let's see, 2.5, that's going to be 10, right? It's going to be 10, but we need to double it and get 20 because there's 2 of them, right? All right, so we found that side, so those 2 sides. So let's go ahead and do this front side and the back side, right? Well, the front side is 6 by 4. So that's 24. So if we double it, right, there's 2 of them. There's a front and the back. If we double it, 6 times 4 is 24. Double 24, we get 48. And then lastly, we need to do the top and the bottom. But there is no top, right? The top is open. So we only can find the bottom here. So that is going to be a rectangle that's 6 by 2.5. So let's see, 6 times 2.5 is the same as 3 times 5, which is 15. So now we need to add all these 3 together. And 48 plus 15 is, let's see, 58, 63, and 73, 83. So the total here is 83 feet squared. The aquarium is made up of 4 glass panels, right? We found those 4. But then there's only the bottom, there's not the top. So that's 5 sides. If the top was covered, we would have another 15 and we would have 98 because it would match the bottom, right? But we don't. So it's just 83 feet squared. All right, your homework is big ideas. Good luck on it, guys. It's due on Friday. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you guys soon, challengers. Bye.